The U is about the championship history of the University of Miami Hurricanes football program and how these players and this team changed the face of football and professional sports and college sports forever. I'm a native Floridian and a Miamian for all but the first 2 years of my life. And I grew up in Miami in the 1980s, and the University of Miami Hurricanes was my team. It was our team. It was the city's team. It was a team where in pretty rough times in the history of Miami, the entire community, black, white, Hispanic, Haitian, everybody could rally around. And everybody was rooting for the University of Miami Hurricanes football team.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? Sebastian Rusk, SocialBuzzTV, on location with filmmaker, producer, unapologetic critic, and my friend Billy Corben. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Dave. Great to be here.
Hey, thanks for hanging out with us.
Great for you to be here because you're on location. I didn't have to go anywhere. You came to me, so that's awesome.
This is true. I am here where all the magic happens with the brainchild himself. Billy and I connected on Facebook. It is all about social media. It's all about creating buzz. I hit him up on Facebook chat and said I'd love to interview you. He put me in touch with his production manager, and here we are. So once again,
I can't believe how many interview requests and press requests I get via Twitter, Facebook, through our info@racontour.com, our contact us section of the website and everything. It's really unbelievable. I mean, we have publicists who do a great job, but it seems that all you really need to do is put yourself out there enough so that people know that you're accessible and available, and it's just incredible how much attention you manage to generate just from sort of saying, here we are, if you want to talk to us, we're available.
Most
so that's great.
Well, social media has eliminated the gatekeeper and really eliminated a lot of the layers it takes to really get to the people that we want to communicate with and do business with. I don't know, where was this 10 years ago when I was making 300 phone calls a day to make a living? So we no longer have to look for news of information. It comes to us. Thank you. And that brings me into chatting about your efforts with social media, being a filmmaker. For those of you who don't know, I'm sure you've heard of the Cocaine Cowboys. I'm sure you've watched the U. If you're here in South Florida and you're a Canes fan, if you haven't seen it, pick up a copy. When you put out a new project, you conceptualize a new project, social media is really making it easy for you to get the word out.
Oh yeah, I don't, it's funny, I kind of live it. I don't talk about it a lot, so I don't know a lot of the key words and this kind of glossary of terms in this space, but I think one of them is disintermediation. It's the idea that the the producers and the content creators can now communicate and or distribute directly to the end user, with the audience. The idea, as you put it, the gatekeepers kind of in between are slowly but surely kind of disintegrating. And obviously the internet is what makes that all possible. And to that end, I mean, I think we came up, we were fortunately, I think, of the latter part of a generation that was still able to adapt to that world, because obviously there are people growing up right now who only know the world of Twitter and Facebook and what have you. But we were right at the tail end of it on Cocaine Cowboys. We were one of the first films to ever have a MySpace page. This was before they had MySpace movies or films or MySpace music. We just decided to create a movie page, a page on MySpace for our movie. And we had generated so much interest and enthusiasm over the movie on that page that we got accepted to the Tribeca Film Festival, and they called us ahead of the festival in '06 to help them build their MySpace page for the Tribeca Film Festival, because they had seen just how active we were on MySpace already. I hope everybody remembers MySpace.
2006. I was wondering how that
was. It was 05, I think, when we put that page up. Yeah, MySpace is now the lost city of Atlantis or something.
But you went to no space.
Yeah,
you went from Top Gun to Squirt Gun.
So sad. Alfred, my producing partner and co-founder of Racontour, is always on top of the next whatever it is. Some of these things work out, some of them don't.
Right.
And he introduced me to Twitter, and I was like, oh crap, I'm not gonna do this.
There's symbols.
There's just
signs.
you gotta learn a whole new language.
Right.
Number one, and I still don't really have the hashtag trending thing down yet, but he got me into it. He managed to talk me into it, and now I'm as you know, I'm a bit of a Twitter fiend.
Right.
And whether I'm aggregating stories that are of interest to me and I think will be of interest to the people that follow, or that or I'm commenting, or unapologetic critic, being an unapologetic critic,
Totally, as I love it,
as you describe me, on usually having to do with politics and entertainment and general things about Miami that just tend to piss me off on a daily, if not hourly, basis. That kind of, we started rolling with that, and that was tremendous. I mean, really, Cocaine Cowboys 2, I'll tell you, was a direct, I think this was just before Twitter, but Cocaine Cowboys 2 was really a direct response to the audience and the fans who were writing us at MySpace, online, fans that we met, whether they were just people in the streets or people like Chad Jackson, who we met, and Pharrell Williams, who we met, and people who just had a lot of questions about the Godmother, about Griselda Blanco from the first Cocaine Cowboys. So that's one of the things. One of the things about making Cocaine Cowboys and living in Miami is that when you meet people from Miami, everybody's like, "Oh, bro, like you didn't get the whole story, bro, because you didn't talk to my cousin, bro. My cousin got the whole story." So everybody, of course, was so profoundly impacted by the cocaine trade in Miami in the 80s that everybody has some connection to it. So everybody's got an idea for a sequel or another documentary, and when people know what you do, they've got the best idea for your next story, for your next movie or whatever, it's your next documentary. And most of the time that's not the case, but sometimes it is, and that's what happened with Cocaine Cowboys 2. It was like a fan response movie. It was everything that people were interested in about Cocaine Cowboys, or what people were most interested in about Cocaine Cowboys 1. And so we responded to that by making Cocaine Cowboys 2. I mean, that was literally as a direct result from social media and being able to interact directly with the people who were consuming our content.
Not only was Billy actively involved with social media now and with your projects, but you were really early adopters. I mean, 2005 with MySpace and with YouTube. And I find it interesting that not only was Billy an early adapter, but it helped you guys really, as the film industry transitioned from going to the reel and razor blades and cutting film and going to the digital recorders, now to you can shoot it essentially a film with your iPhone. So It's crazy how once social media started to develop and really be on the map, even when people were skeptical about it, you saw that, hey, we're onto something big here that's really going to simplify our lives.
Well, it's not only the simplification, but the idea that you want to have a relationship with the people who like what you do.
Right.
And even to an extent with the people who don't like,
of course,
what you do. I feel, and I know this as a fan myself, of comedians or bands or musicians, that when I connect with them on social media, I feel like I have a personal stake in their careers and what they do, and so I go out to their gigs, or I'll buy their music on iTunes or wherever it's available, and then of course I will encourage others to do so as well, and the same goes for what we do. The idea that you have a personal relationship with the people who like what you do and consume your product and appreciate your product, and as a result, they then have a personal stake in your career. With the U, we the University of Miami sent a cease and desist letter. Their general counsel did, or some attorney who represents UM did, to our DVD distributor on the U, telling them to remove the U from Michael Irvin's helmet on the DVD cover. We didn't know about this because it went right to the DVD distributor, who apparently has other business with UM or with Collegiate Images, and they're a DVD distributor who does a lot of sports stuff, and so they photoshopped it out. So the first pressing of the U DVD became a bit of a collector's item because it has the orange and green U logo on it, and subsequent ones have a blank white helmet with the U photoshopped out. So what I put out on into the Twitter sphere and on Facebook was anybody who buys the new edition or the photoshopped or censored version, hit me up, and we'll send you an autographed cover of the original that you can slip into your slip into your case, you know.
Unapologetic.
Yeah, I mean, like, and then people.
That would definitely.
So a lot of people saw it. A lot of people took advantage of that, and the offer still stands, by the way. So anybody who hears this and winds up with the version of the DVD without you, just write us and send us your mailing address and everything, and we'll send you an autograph.
We'll get to you.
And what I do now, actually, when I do autograph ones of the old cover, of the new cover without the U logo, Jenna has an orange and green Sharpie for me, and I draw the U logo back onto the helmet with an orange and green Sharpie. So
as I would as well. That was
the U. It's all about the U. It's all about the U. It's all about.
So help us better understand the thought process behind the U. One of my favorite documentaries ever. If you haven't seen it, pick it up immediately. If you need to find out how to get a signed copy with the U, get a hold of me and I'll get you in touch with Billy. But help me understand, diehard Canes fan, have been, always will be, so a huge fan of the documentary. What was the thought process behind it?
Well, I mean, it was much like Cocaine Cowboys in that this was an experience that we had growing up in Miami in the 1980s. Because that's really what it was. It was the team of the 80s story.
Right.
It wasn't all 5 national championships. We didn't go to 01.
Right.
It was really just that era where it was, because that was a great, I mean, an outrageously good team and an incredible story. But we wanted to sort of tell that's the story of the team in that era and what was not only extraordinary about it in terms of sports, but in terms of popular culture and in terms of its contribution to, I think, a new generation of athletes and how and entertainers, and how those two worlds combined. I think that Michael Irvin talks about that in the movie, and athletes as entertainers, and how people looked at athletes, how athletes, I think, were able to start coming out of their shell and being themselves a little bit more, rather than trying to live up to some kind of when they're both on the field or on the court or off, trying wearing suits and trying to maintain a certain look or professionalism, which is fine. But I think there's also I think sports are a form of expression. And I think that the Canes kind of personified that, and almost, I think, really paved the way in both college football and professional sports to make that acceptable.
Right.
To say that, okay, we're not just athletes playing a gentleman's game with very specific rules and dress codes and what have you, but we are human beings who are expressing ourselves in this physical fashion by way of this game. And so, like artists who should be, to an extent, unrestricted and able to express themselves in whatever way that they see fit, shouldn't they? I mean, these are men who work very hard to condition themselves and train themselves to exceed, which the Hurricanes didn't just succeed, they exceeded.
Right.
I mean, beyond anyone's wildest expectations. Shouldn't they be allowed to express themselves in the way that they saw fit? And that's kind of how we approach the story, as how the team came to personify the outlaw city of Miami in the 80s, and they were labeled the outlaw team of college football.
Convicts.
Catholics versus convicts, all that kind of nonsense, and we wanted to examine it, debate it, celebrate it. This very similar approach to Cocaine Cowboys. These are all kinds of twisted love letters to our hometown, to the city and to the community that we love and have for the sake of our company planted a flag in and really wanted to make an impact and be a part of and build our brand around too. Associate Raconteur with Miami, and we wanted to be known in the industry as the Miami guys. We're now kind of known as the Cocaine Cowboys guys, or the U guys, which is just as good. That's the same difference, really. And so the U was inspired by that, by our childhood, and realizing that we witnessed really what was the greatest show on earth.